The showdown is about to happen. Yaakov and Esav are about to meet in the beginning of Parshas Vayishlach, and Yaakov is scared. He's in fear of his life, and not only his own life, but the life of his entire family and his entire future. And so he splits up his camp, and then he sends gifts to his brother Esav in an attempt to appease him, so that Esav perhaps will have rachamim, will have mercy on what transpired in the past, and that he can make shalom, he can make peace with his brother. So the Torah tells us where Yaakov sent these gifts. Arza Seir Stei Edom. He sent it to the land of Seir, where Esav was. And Rashi focuses on the word Arza. Arza meaning to the land, in the direction of the land. And Rashi says that the term used by the Torah, Arza, is not necessarily one that we would expect. Rather, he says, we would always expect the word le'eretz, to the land, to be found, and not arza. But Rashi teaches us a rule in grammar. He says any time that you need a lamed in the beginning of a word, instead we put a hey at the end of the word. So Rav Mendel Mivorki asks and says, well, why is that the case? In other words, according to Rashi, here it should have said le'eretz seir. Instead it says arza. Instead of the lamed, we added a hey. Instead of the lamed at the beginning of the word, we add the hey at the end of the word. Why is all this necessary? So Rav Mendel Mivorki says, if we're going to add a letter, then what's the difference if the letter is in the beginning or the letter is in the end? So he said, perhaps there is a message that the Torah is trying to teach us here. And that is that when it comes to our words, the words that we use, sometimes we need to say certain things that may be very difficult for us to say and for other people to hear. But we shouldn't say them right away. We shouldn't say them in the beginning. We should wait. Wait until the time that it needs to be said. Because maybe we'll find a better way to say it. Maybe, just maybe, something will transpire that will change the way in which we need to get the message across. In addition, it's not only this idea itself, but Pasuk in Tehillim tells us, Lo ragal al lishono, that a person should not be accustomed to his lashon, to his or her tongue. So what is that? What is that all about? So the Maggid Medrash explains that there's a connection with this pasuk in Tehillim and the pasuk that we find in our parsha. And he says the following: he says, every limb of our body, we try to ensure that different mitzvos and different things are done with the most alacrity possible, as quickly as possible, swiftly. We want to teach our children, the next generation, that when someone asks you to do a mitzvah, just do it right away. Don't wait, don't hesitate, just do it. Except, lo ragal, we shouldn't be ragil, we shouldn't be accustomed, al lishono, on our tongues. When it comes to our tongues, when it comes to the way we speak, we shouldn't be zaris, we shouldn't be quick to answer. Rather, we should be calculated, we should be careful. Stories told about the Chafetz Chaim, that the Chafetz Chaim was once sitting with a businessman, and he asked him for some money, and the businessman said, shh, hold on 1 second. And Chafetz Chaim didn't understand what's he making him wait for, and he says, I'm finishing writing a letter concerning business. So the Chafetz Chaim knew of this businessman that he was one to have been very, very open about what he thought about other people. And he said to the Chafetz Chaim, who waited patiently, he says, Rabbi, I want to explain to you. He said, every single word in this letter is golden. When the person who this letter is intended for is going to open the letter and they are going to read this document, every word is going to be judged. If I say a word in one way, the tone will be taken to mean one thing. Every word is going to be worth money. And so the Chafetz Chaim looked at this man and said, just as you look at the words that you write as valuable and as money, and you're so careful with every word, so too you should be careful about the words that come out of your mouth, not just the words that are written on paper. And so he taught him a lesson and a message that's important for all of us, that we shouldn't be quick to judge, we shouldn't be quick to speak. We should be careful in what it is that we say. We shouldn't push ourselves to respond right away, but we should be patient, so that hopefully we'll be able to respond when appropriate and respond with the appropriate words. May we be zocher to do so, and indeed learn to speak properly, to choose our words properly, and be able to grow on a regular basis. Thank you for listening, and have a good Shabbos.